Dave, first just with Julio, the announcement that he's going to be playing for Team Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. How excited are you for him for this opportunity?
I'm excited for Julio. I can't appreciate what it means or how it feels to essentially represent a country. Every day you're out there pitching for the Dodgers, but for pitching for his people, but an opportunity to represent his country, wearing the green and red and white. I think it's something that will be a thrill for him and something he'll remember forever. So, yeah, I'm just proud of him, and I know he's going to represent him well.
Is this one of those things that's really just like another feather in his cap of all the success that he's had on the mound?
It is, and it comes with a lot of hard work, and you know, they pick and choose very wisely to who represents their country, and it just speaks to the character of Julio and the performance on the field. But he's worked hard to overcome a lot of adversity, and he's continued to add to his accolades.
You have a lot of players.
We are. Obviously, Julio today, Freddie, Team Canada, and then Mookie, Trea, and then Will Smith. So it's good. It's good for them. It'll obviously be a different look as far as our spring training, but I think it'll be good in the sense that they'll get ramped up, compete, and then when they get back with us, we can kind of slow things down a little bit to get them ramped up again. But I'm all for it. It'll also give us opportunities to look at some other guys too. And also Dino over there coaching third base.
We saw some pictures doing some PFPs. Was that just kind of planned, or?
Yeah, it's planned. We try to do it every few weeks when we're at home, and try to be proactive as far as fielding our position and not making it, reactionary if something doesn't go well. So we did it, and there's full participation, and just try to make it efficient and good.
So Tony playing catch, how's he doing?
He's doing all right. I would honestly, it's not going as quickly as I think any of us would like, but we're moving forward every day, which is a good thing. So I don't know the next step. I think it's just essentially playing catch every day and stretching it out until we feel that we can get him off the mound.
Just considering the calendar, like how tight of a squeeze is that? Just that everything has to sort of go right at this point for him.
Everything does have to go right. So as far as trying to guard against setbacks is important, but to continue to progress is paramount with considering where we're at in the schedule.
Are you confident you'll be able to be fully stretched out to start?
Right now I am, but you could ask me the same question in a week. If we don't make a whole bunch of progress, then I might have a different answer. But right now, I feel that we can get him back to fully ramped up.
Going back to the WBC, notwithstanding any players that you might acquire in the offseason who would participate, anticipating any other players currently in the room?
I don't know. I don't know their process, and I just kind of probably learn when you guys learn. So yeah, I'm not sure.
Just that, you mentioned it becomes a different spring training, but what about workload management from that point forward? I mean, Freddie and Trea, you mentioned that they played all in one game.
I think, yeah, with Freddie and Trea and Mookie, I don't think it's a problem as far as on the position player side, because once they get back with us, I think that we can sort of stagger and manage their workload. With Julio, it's a little trickier because he won't have that full off season to recover from the season. So he's going to have to ramp up earlier to be ready for the WBC. Then we just got to kind of see how his workload was there to kind of take a step back to then getting him ready for the season. So I don't know how that looks right now, but the pitching part is a little bit more tricky.
I'm just kind of wondering, not many teams have had this lead that you guys have with so many games left in the season. Like, how do you guard against complacency or kind of things like that moving forward?
I think it's easy in the sense that we just kind of focus on the quality of baseball we play, and that's on the players. For me and the staff, it's more of managing their workloads and having JT and Will down yesterday, having Austin catch 2 of 3 in this series. You know, obviously got Trea Day the other day. So things like that I can control. But as far as, you know, how we go about each day, you know, our expectations out there are to play Dodger baseball. And that's to try to, you know, play 27 outs on the top and the bottom of each inning.
Dave Miguel was taking grounders or short and second for the game today. What do you kind of, you know, envision, or how are you thinking about his role, you know, as you...
This is answer?
No, Miguel Vargas.
Oh, Miguel? No, I think with Miguel, I think we just want him all over the diamond. I think him taking grounders at short is good for his footwork, arm strength. But I see him potentially taking some innings at third, second, in left as he's done, and take some DH innings, and also at first to spell Freddie at times.
And for Julio, you know, obviously get a chance to pitch in 2017 with WBC. Didn't, you know, now, any kind of sense as to the excitement, you know, he might be feeling finally, you know, as you mentioned, getting a chance to represent?
I can only imagine. He doesn't show his emotion very often, but, you know, this is something that, you know, he's playing for his country. So I just don't know how it can get much more real and emotional than that. So I know he's thrilled and honored, and he's going to do right by him. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun to watch.
Well, we're in the first week of September. I know just kind of in past conversations we've talked about some of the arms that are making their way back, whether it's Danny Duffy, Tommy Kahnle, guys like that. Is that mid-September timeline still kind of realistic for these guys, or going to push back more to a late September?
Yeah, it is, and I think kind of like the 15th through 20th, something like that. They're Tommy, Duffy, I think are both throwing tonight, and I think Victor either tonight or tomorrow. So they're all kind of trending the right way. Now it's like once we can get them through their rehab assignments, then we're gonna have to make a decision on what our 28-man roster looks like at that moment in time. So there's gonna be some tough conversations, but that's all contingent on those guys continuing to stay healthy.
Even if it's only like one of those 3 guys who comes back, it's still like difficult folding a guy who, in Victor and Danny's case, haven't pitched all year, or Tommy's case has not pitched, or barely has pitched. What's the most difficult part?
It's all difficult. It's not easy. You know, you're talking about some guys that have been here all year, some guys, you know, that in and out, but are pitching well. So you've got to kind of manage, you know, those conversations and look at what's best for that particular series. There might be a tough conversation for one series, and then that guy comes back online for the next series. But again, the whole key is having as many good options as you can have, and then, you know, us putting together a roster. So we got time for that, but, you know, the main thing we're trying to do is get as many healthy arms as possible.
I know we've asked you about Trace's like right, left, pretty dramatic splits. Do you expect that to level out, or do you think enough time has passed, the sample size is kind of big enough this year that is maybe an accurate kind of portrayal?
I think it'll level out. I think the one thing I would say is his confidence versus right-handed pitching. You know, last night I think was an outlier. It was tough. You know, Webb was tough on everybody, but I think as far as versus right, I think that's kind of given him the confidence to see spin going away from him, be able to hit velocity as he did with many guys this year, right-handed pitching, but also kind of correct himself on the lefties, which he did his last at-bat versus that lefty in San Diego. So I think that's more of a will self-correct, and hopefully the right-handed confidence will sort of sustain itself.
Going back to the whole workload conversation, so you look at the number of innings Tony's pitched this year relative to years past. After he gets this injury toward the end of the year and draw a straight line, or do you try to resist that?
I think that's the easy way to look at it. So where we're at right now, there were no markers that kind of showed that. But I think right now where we're at is looking at it as you know, a 3-week break essentially, and hopefully we can use this time to catch his breath, get him back, get his strength back, and have him through October. I can't say right now that if we would have skipped a start here or there, that we would have prevented it. I don't think anyone knows that answer. But we did know where he was at, it was more than he's thrown before, absolutely.
Is it just like a residual soreness that's still kind of the case? Or
It's a residual soreness. It's not a sharp pain or of any type. Obviously, the scans came back all positive, so now it's just kind of the soreness and trying to keep his arm moving, which is important for a pitcher. And then once we can get that soreness out, then hopefully that'll all dissipate. He can just go from there.
Any update on Gavin?
Gavin, moving better today, range of motion. Don't know when he's going to get back into baseball activities, which will be a big tell as far as his time of return. But the kind of moving the neck around, the not soreness, not statuesque kind of positions, better today than past days.
And you're still optimistic about an IL stint?
Yeah, I think we're going to stay the course on not putting on the IL. Certainly there's a couple options down there right now, but I think where we're at, we're just going to kind of stay status quo and use some of the other bench guys for other chances.